Can God change your life in the next 30 minutes? I believe you're watching right now because God has something special for you. Join me for Jewish Voice and you'll discover how Bible prophecy is coming to pass before our very eyes and why you need to stand with Israel. You can play a role in God's end-time plan. Find out how on Jewish Voice. Welcome to Jewish Voice, where we help you to understand the Jewish roots of your Christian faith, Bible prophecy, and why you should stand with Israel. I'm Rabbi Jonathan Bernison. Joining me today, once again, is my co-host, Ezra Benjamin. Ezra, another exciting program because we will be spending time at our Lost Tribes Discovery Center. You're one of the first to see this. I don't think there's anything like this anywhere in the world.
Right, and we've just opened it, Jonathan.
We just went online with this, the Lost Tribes Discovery Center. There's so many Jewish communities that have been scattered to the uttermost parts of the earth.
But they're being regathered.
And they're being regathered, and we're coming into connection with them. And many of them are coming to us. One of the questions I'm asked a lot is, how are you finding these lost tribes?
Right, they're actually finding us.
They're finding us.
Yeah.
You know, Ezra, I'm not sure that everyone watching even knows what the lost tribes or who the lost tribes are.
Right, and who's lost to begin with, and are they lost to themselves, or are they lost to the world? Are they being found? So many questions arise. What does the term lost tribe mean?
So let me recap, and it goes back to Abraham. God calls Abraham and gives him a unique destiny, a unique calling and promise. And he says to Abraham, who's living in idolatry, through you, all the nations of the earth will be blessed. And he took him to a land with his family, to a land that is today the state of Israel.
Right.
So that was a land that was given to a specific people as an everlasting possession.
And then to Isaac and to Jacob
after
him.
Right, and so that's the land grant. It's not the Balfour Declaration, it's not the UN decision, it's not even an issue of historically how long have the Jewish people been in the land. It's God declaring this land will be a possession to you and your children, Isaac, Jacob, and their children.
Right, and our people come back from Israel, but we don't have to read too many books into the Bible to see that God scattered us. We see it in Isaiah and Jeremiah, and he says you deserve it. It's because of your disobedience that I'm kicking you out of the land of Israel.
He warned the children of Israel, and he said, if you follow my laws and commandments and you worship the one true God, you'll be blessed. If you don't, you'll be cursed, and you'll be scattered to the nations.
And that's exactly what happened.
And you won't do well there.
Yeah.
It'll be hardship for you. There'll be hardship. So the promise is to Abraham through Isaac and Jacob, not through Ishmael, not through Esau, but specifically through Abraham and Isaac, and then Jacob. Jacob's name is changed to Israel, and he has 12 sons. They become the 12 tribes of Israel, and they make up what is today known as the children of Israel, the Hebrews. The Hebrews going back to Abraham the Hebrew, or the Jewish people. Same people group, the physical descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name is changed to Israel. Now, they end up in slavery in Egypt because of a famine. They were blessed at first, and then Pharaoh turned against them, and they're slaves in Egypt. They cry out for a deliverer for 430 years, depending on which translation. God sends Moses, and we have the Passover Exodus. And for 40 years, they wander in the wilderness. God gives them, of course, the tabernacle. They're able to worship him. He's dwelling among his people. After 40 years, through Joshua, he leads them into the promised land. They dwell together in victory, in relative peace and security through the time of Solomon. A united kingdom under David and then Solomon. The temple's built, Israel's in her glory, and then the nation divides after Solomon. You have 10 tribes that become the kingdom of Israel in the north. You have 2 tribes in the south, Benjamin and Judah in the south. The tribe of Judah and Israel, the 10 tribes, are defeated by the Assyrians about 2,700 years ago. They're taken into captivity, into exile. We don't hear from them again.
Right, and to the world, they're lost. People think they assimilated, meaning they gave up their Jewish identity, they've been killed, whatever, they're gone.
Now, in a narrow definition, Ezra, Those are the 10 lost tribes, the lost tribes of Israel. Okay?
So that's what it means by lost tribes.
Now, they're not lost to God. And they scatter, and we have some historians writing about Jewish communities that they discovered from these exiles, okay? In Babylon, in the area that's today Turkey, all the way into Afghanistan.
Right.
They migrate. India, through the Silk Route, but they're lost to the scriptures. The southern kingdom remains intact, the tribe of Judah, or the kingdom of Judah, until 586. They're taken into captivity in the by the Babylonians.
Okay.
And you have a 70-year exile, and then a remnant returning through Ezra through Nehemiah. They rebuild the temple, they rebuild Jerusalem. It's only a remnant.
Okay.
So keep in mind, you have the 10 tribes scattered. Now you have the remnant remaining in Babylon, and they're scattered also.
Okay.
According to God's word, I will scatter you.
Right.
And then you have the exiles that return being scattered after the destruction of the temple and Jerusalem in 70 AD. So now they're scattered, again after a revolt called the Bar Kokhba Revolt, the Great Dispersion, and now you have Jewish communities throughout history over the last 2,000 years wandering from nation to nation. Scattered.
But there's a problem, Jonathan, and those who know your Bible at home, I think you do, know that God says, I'm going to scatter you, but I'm going to regather you from all the places where I scattered you. Have we seen that happening yet in the world?
Yes, but it's relegated to a specific time in history. So we wander through Europe, we're banished from England, we're banished from Spain, you have the Spanish Inquisition. Portugal, you have Jewish communities banished, wandering.
Right.
Many end up in Turkey. Some end up in even in far away as China, Ethiopia, scattered throughout the world. Jews are instrumental in the founding of America, but God says the day will come, and he refers to it in Hebrew as Bayom Hahu. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11.
What does Bayom Hahu mean?
Bayom Hahu, in that day.
Okay.
In that day, verse 11, the Lord will again redeem for a second time. First time is Babylonian captivity. The second time, in that day, he will regather the remnant of his people, and he mentions Assyria, Egypt, Pathos, Cush, Elam, Shinar, Hamath, and the islands of the sea. In other words, it's the whole world, but it specifically mentions Ethiopia.
By name.
By name.
Wow.
So this is a set time in history. What is Bayom Hahu? The last days.
Wow, Jonathan, last days events, the regathering of our people, so important to understand, so important for you at home to understand. You know, Jonathan, this DVD, Quest for the Lost Tribes, that we helped to produce, changed my thinking on the issue of scattered Jewish people around the world. It's actually part of what got me into this ministry. Such an important DVD. We want you to know what God's doing with our Jewish people around the world, where he scattered us, and how he's regathering us.
You may have heard of the lost tribes. You may never have heard of them, or you've just heard about them but don't know how it applies to you. This video will help you. We have not offered this in a while. We were, as Ezra said, we were actually part of the distribution process with A&E. It's a really high-quality video. It will really help you understand what God is doing today with the people that he's remained faithful to. I want to encourage you, get involved with this ministry. We need you to partner with us. That gift, that ongoing support enables us to go to places like Ethiopia and Zimbabwe. I want to encourage you, get involved with this ministry. We want to get these products out to you that are really unique, a Lost Tribes map that you won't find anywhere else because we produced it, because we believe this is part of Bible prophecy. And if you can give monthly, and I really want to invite you, become a monthly partner with Jewish Voice. If you'll pledge to just $30 a month, in addition to the video and the map, we'll also send you this beautiful Lost Tribes of Israel book. We produced it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm telling you, it's a great coffee table book. This is just our way of saying thank you as you stand with us, as you support this ministry. Hey, we have to take a quick break, but we'll be right back from our Lost Tribes Discovery Center, where we are reaching out to lost tribes of Israel being restored. And I want you to be part of this, so don't go anywhere.
As you are learning today, Jewish tribes have been found in Africa, India, and other parts of the world, holding onto their traditions and their belief in the one true God for centuries. However, they're among the poorest and most persecuted people on earth. Today, you have an opportunity to make a change in their lives. When you support Jewish Voice with a one-time gift of $40, Jonathan wants to thank you for your help by sending you Quest for the Lost Tribes, an incredible documentary featured on A&E. This video uncovers the truth of how the 10 tribes vanished and where they have now been found. In addition to the DVD, you will also receive the Lost Tribes map, tracing the ancient Silk Route and denoting the location of the Jewish tribes you are helping today. We'll send all of these resources out to you right away as you support Jewish Voice Outreaches with a one-time gift of $40 or more. Your gift will help us share the gospel and change lives for these lost tribes. Call the number on the screen now so we can get these resources out to you today. If you would like your giving to make a long-term impact, Jonathan is encouraging you to join him today as a monthly partner. As you do, you will be providing the funds needed to assist local Messianic congregations in sharing the love of Yeshua throughout their local communities. As you join us with your monthly support of just $30 today, you will not only receive the DVD documentary and the map, but Jonathan will also include this African box plaque, reminding you of the part you are playing sharing the gospel around the world. We'll also send you this beautiful Lost Tribes of Israel photo book, featuring the history and images of the various tribes which Jewish Voice Outreaches are helping. Again, you will receive all of these resources for your generous support of just $30 a month. Your gift today can change a life, providing the opportunity to not only meet physical needs, but also the chance to share the love of Jesus in a very real and personal way. Call our 800 number now and let our representative know what level of giving you would like to participate in. Your one-time gift today will be used to bring the gospel of hope to thousands around the world. And if you would, please consider becoming a partner with Jewish Voice. Your gift of just $30 a month would be greatly appreciated. If you prefer, you can always choose to give online at jewishvoice.tv, or you can also donate by mailing your gift to the address on the screen. Thank you in advance for your generous support of Jewish Voice and for making a difference in so many lives through your sacrifice.
Ezra?
Yeah.
A 2-year program, a 2-year project.
Yes.
Finally brought to fruition. We are online.
Yeah, here we are, Jonathan. In this
We're
Discovery
wired.
Center, we have eyes on major Jewish population centers around the world. And I'm not talking about New York and Tel Aviv and Los Angeles. I'm talking about scattered Jewish groups wherever they are, in Africa, in Asia, in Northeast India, all the places where our people have been scattered. We're learning and discovering where they are and what we can do to be a
Ezra,
part of it.
I feel like for me that I came into this about 20 years ago. I had been working in Russia with scattered tribes, but not the lost tribes of Israel.
Sure.
And then I was invited to go to Ethiopia in 1999.
Yeah.
And everything changed for me because it was literally like being moved into an Indiana Jones movie.
Right.
But instead of searching for the lost ark, it was searching for the lost people of Israel.
Sure.
Not the lost ark of Israel, but the lost people. And it began with Ethiopians, and then it spread to other groups like the B'nai Menashe,
Right.
which
In
we just
India,
talked about last week in India. And then Jewish groups started to contact us
Right.
and say, hey, we're here. Groups in places like Somaliland, and one group in particular that I want to focus on, and it's behind us, and that's the Lemba tribe.
Yes.
In Zimbabwe.
Yes.
When you say not major groups so like Jewish communities in Israel or America, these lost tribes, we're talking about groups that most people have never even heard of.
Right.
I mean, how many of you watching have ever heard of the Lemba tribe? Ezra, talk about the Lemba tribe.
Yeah. The Lemba, Jonathan, is an incredible discovery. Not a discovery to the Lord, because we know He's known where they are for the whole time they've been outside Israel, but a discovery to us. About 10 years ago, we were able to go down to Zimbabwe and sit with leaders, chiefs, of what's called the Lemba tribe. And that word, Lemba, actually comes from a place in Yemen, Saudi Arabia area where this group first settled after they left Israel. Their story, their oral history, goes like this. Under Ezra and Nehemiah, there were priests, there were Levites working in the temple who had married pagan wives, non-Jewish wives.
Okay, now, I need to stop you because
Sure.
this is really monumental. We're not just talking about Jews.
Right.
We're talking about priests,
Yes.
We're talking about
Yes.
Levites.
Yes.
The Levites were the priests of Israel.
Yes.
That was the tribe of Levi.
Right.
Were designated to be the ones that worked in the temple.
Yes.
And out of the tribe of Levi came the high
Exactly.
priest.
Jacob had 12 sons, and one of those sons, Levi, was the priestly tribe.
And the Lemba's claim is we're priests.
Yes, and there's something very specific here, because not just Levites, like my family's maiden name is Levitt, so Levites, but within the house of Levi, as we know, there was the house of Aaron, right? The Kohanim, the high priests. So the Lembas claim, if you ask them, who are you? They'll say, we come from Israel. But if you press them, they'll say, we are the house of Aaron. Not just the house of Levi, they say, we are the house of Aaron. In essence, they're saying, we know that we are descendants of the high priests of Israel.
And
It's
they've
incredible.
carried, so Ezra, they've carried this oral tradition
Yes.
for hundreds of years.
Yes. Thousands, Jonathan. Thousands since they left Israel. It's amazing.
It is. So go on with the Lemba.
So the Lemba were the house of Aaron, the house of Levi, these priests and high priests who had married pagan wives, and under Ezra and Nehemiah, they were kicked out of the land of Israel because they refused to separate from the non-Jewish wives that they had married. And so as the oral history goes, they migrated out of Israel across the Jordan River into Saudi Arabia, into Yemen, and then eventually by boats on that small little patch of water of the Red Sea between the Middle East and the East African seaboard. And so they came into Africa over 1,000 years ago and little by little migrated down the eastern seaboard of Africa into what's today southern and eastern Africa, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Zambia, South Africa, even other areas on the continent.
How many are we talking about?
We're
Just
talking
rough
about
estimates.
at least, you ready? At least 80,000. And if you count the regional population, upwards of 200,000 people today.
200,000.
Yes.
We're talking about living in the bush.
Yes, living out in rural areas in southern Africa, but saying, we know that we come from Israel.
Disconnected from the Jewish community.
For 2,700 years.
Only 2,700 years. How do we know they're Jews?
Well, their oral history, again, there's a cost being scattered in the nations of the world to say I'm Jewish. It's not a benefit. Usually it means isolation and persecution.
Right.
So anybody who says to us and contacts us and says we're Jewish, we listen up, because it's not to their benefit usually to say that. Oral history, tradition, the Lemba only slaughter meat. You ready? 2,700 years after leaving Israel, they only slaughter meat in the way that's biblically prescribed to be kosher, and they don't eat anything that's biblically unclean meat. They only marry wives within the Lemba community.
Wait, in the bush of Zimbabwe, they eat kosher meat.
The people around are eating whatever you can find because food is scarce. The Lemba are only eating what's biblically clean meat, and they have Lemba butchers who slaughter it in the way that the priests were commanded to slaughter.
And it's not that they're reading the Torah.
Correct.
This is their oral tradition.
Correct. They've passed it on. We say in Hebrew, ledor vador, from generation to generation.
Incredible.
They've maintained these traditions. And not only that, nobody believed the Lemba, Jonathan, and they said, in essence, prove
They
it.
don't intermarry, you said.
They don't intermarry.
And circumcision.
Circumcision. Unfortunately for the Lemba, it's on the 8th year for the boys, not the 8th day, so they missed that one a little bit, but they kept the 8.
We get the idea,
We're talking
though.
with them
Wow.
about that.
But the last one.
Yes, the last and perhaps the most recent and most important one is nobody believed the Lemba and said, prove it. Well, the Lemba did. One of the clans in the Lemba community, Jonathan, had their DNA sent to a lab for testing. You ready? A 70% match to historically Semitic Levite DNA.
Wait, Levite DNA?
Levite. In essence,
So-
the Cohens and the Levis in the world sent their DNA in, and the Lemba sent their DNA, and it's a 70% match 2,700 years later.
This is miraculous. I want you to understand that this is the fulfillment of Bible prophecy before our very eyes.
Yeah.
And you get to be part of it. Ezra, we get to be part of this.
Jonathan, we are a part of it. We're a part of it as a ministry. We want you to join with us in being a part of it. Part of being a part of it is understanding specifically what God is doing. This DVD, Jonathan, that we helped to distribute together with A&E, Quest for the Lost Tribes, was actually instrumental in my getting involved in this ministry in the first place. It explains where our people are scattered in the world, how we got there, and how it seems that God may be regathering us to himself into the land of Israel.
You may think that the lost tribes is an irrelevant issue for you as a Christian, but it's very relevant because it's God fulfilling his promises concerning the last days.
Yeah.
And he's inviting every believer to be part of this last days move of his Spirit. Great things ahead.
Yes.
And we get to be part of it. We want you to invest in this ministry. We need your partnership. It's your partnership that enables us to reach the lost tribes, to bless the Jewish people and their neighbors.
Yeah.
And we do it through medical, dental, eye care. We do it through the proclamation of the gospel.
Yeah.
I want to invite you, get involved with Jewish Voice. If you love the Jewish people, this is the greatest way to bless them, one of the greatest ways, certainly.
Yeah.
And you can become a monthly partner. I want to encourage you to become a monthly partner with this ministry. If you do, we'll send you the video. We'll send you the Lost Tribes map. It's unique. It's really, really interesting. Also, a Lost Tribes of Israel book. It's a coffee table book, and it's heartwarming. It shows you the different tribes we're talking about, shows you pictures of their environment. It's really interesting, lots of valuable information on there. These are gifts that we want to sow into you as you sow into this ministry and enable us to reach the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Get involved.
As you are learning today, Jewish tribes have been found in Africa, India, and other parts of the world, holding on to their traditions and their belief in the one true God for centuries. However, they're among the poorest and most persecuted people on earth. Today, you have an opportunity to make a change in their lives. When you support Jewish Voice with a one-time gift of $40, Jonathan wants to thank you for your help by sending you Quest for the Lost Tribes, an incredible documentary featured on A&E. This video uncovers the truth of how the 10 tribes vanished and where they have now been found. In addition to the DVD, you will also receive the Lost Tribes map, tracing the ancient Silk Route and denoting the location of the Jewish tribes you are helping today. We'll send all of these resources out to you right away as you support Jewish Voice Outreaches with a one-time gift of $40 or more. Your gift will help us share the gospel and change lives for these lost tribes. Call the number on the screen now so we can get these resources out to you today. If you would like your giving to make a long-term impact, Jonathan is encouraging you to join him today as a monthly partner. As you do, you will be providing the funds needed to assist local Messianic congregations in sharing the love of Yeshua throughout their local communities. As you join us with your monthly support of just $30 today, you will not only receive the DVD documentary and the map, but Jonathan will also include this African box plaque, reminding you of the part you are playing sharing the gospel around the world. We'll also send you this beautiful Lost Tribes of Israel photo book, featuring the history and images of the various tribes which Jewish Voice Outreaches are helping. Again, you will receive all of these resources for your generous support of just $30 a month. Your gift today can change a life, providing the opportunity to not only meet physical needs, but also the chance to share the love of Jesus in a very real and personal way.
You may be watching right now and thinking, oh, another show asking for money. You may be skeptical. I get it. I really do. And I don't like to ask for money. I don't like watching programs that ask for money. But I want to tell you something from the bottom of my heart. The need here is real. And it is immense. These people desperately need our help. They don't have access to medical care. They don't have access to medicines. They don't have access to the things that we take for granted. But here's the great news. For over 10,000 people this week that came to the clinic, they did get the medicines they needed and the medical attention that saved the lives of their children. More importantly, many went into the prayer room and heard the gospel for the first time. And this week, many people responded to the gospel and received Yeshua, Jesus, as their Messiah. Their lives are changed forever. There's a bright future for these people because of you and those that are going to respond now. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Beta Israel, the Jewish people here in Ethiopia and their neighbors. Thank you for changing lives here in Ethiopia.
Call our 800 number now and let our representative know what level of giving you would like to participate in. Your one-time gift today will be used to bring the gospel of hope to thousands around the world. And if you would, please consider becoming a partner with Jewish Voice. Your gift of just $30 a month would be greatly appreciated. If you prefer, you can always choose to give online at jewishvoice.tv, or you can also donate by mailing your gift to the address on the screen. Thank you in advance for your generous support of Jewish Voice and for making a difference in so many lives through your sacrifice. Now, let's rejoin Jonathan and Ezra.
I just want to tell you, this is an incredible opportunity. This is a moment in history, and I don't want you to miss it. Don't say, well, I'll get involved later. Get involved now. So many people that are offered salvation and they say, I'll do it later. Today's the day of your salvation. Today is the day to get involved in blessing Jewish people. Here's what we're going to do this week. We want you to become a monthly partner, and we're going to invest your $30 each month in congregational growth, in investing in the local congregations. Ezra, you told us over 125 in the last 7 years.
Jonathan, we're not just providing medical, dental, and eye care. That alone is saving a life, but we're talking about eternity. And in 7 years of ministry among the Lemba, we've seen the Messianic Congregational Network. These are Lemba people who are now believers in Yeshua and leading others to believe, gone from 0 congregations 7 years ago to 125 plus today. It's incredible.
We're building the local church in Zimbabwe. What's unique is that these are lost tribes of Jews. Not only Jews, but high priests that are coming to faith, and now there's congregations all over Zimbabwe, thousands that are meeting, worshiping the Lord together. They're building children educational centers. They're training their children. They're providing for their people, and you get to be part of this. We want to sow back into the local church in Zimbabwe. We're talking about Jewish congregations, Jewish believers in Jesus. What an opportunity to bless. You can become part of this. What's $30 a month? You can't even get a good meal for $30 a month. Make this sacrifice this week. Call, pick up the phone now, and become a monthly partner with this ministry. It's just $30 a month. Maybe God will move you to give more. Maybe He'll move you to give $100 a month or $1,000 a month. Every dollar will be invested wisely, and the blessing of Genesis 12 will overtake you and your family. I will bless those that bless my people. Hey, if you have prayer needs, if you'd like more information about our ministry, including our work among the lost tribes, you can log on to our website, jewishvoice.tv. jewishvoice.tv. I want to leave you with this idea. God loves you. He does, and so do we. Become part of our family. As we close our program today, I want to remind you also, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Psalm 122:6 says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May they prosper who love thee. We want you to prosper. One way you can do that is by praying for the Jewish people. Hey, we're out of time. Jonathan Bernis with Ezra Benjamin saying, until next time, God bless you. And shalom.